Yes. So this is Guido from the Gold Trainers and the True Potential podcast. And today we have a special guest in the building, already for a long time in this building. It's Kevin from the Luitgaarden. Kevin, man, you're also a long time friend of mine and an agency owner, restaurant marketing, digital marketing. What else? Online influencer and helping other agency owners with building their restaurant marketing business agency out, and doing that already for a couple years now. Kevin, welcome, man.
Thanks, brother. Exciting. Nice that you took the I cannot pronounce that word never initiative to,
Yes.
to start.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for having me. I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation since we know each other a long time.
Yeah. And went through some up and down times. Yeah. So we know each other, of course, since 2011. First time both of us going abroad for a longer time to work. And yeah, like I cannot even ask the question like what all has changed since, because then we will be sitting here since tomorrow until tomorrow. But what I find interesting to ask you, like, how do you look back on that time right now? Like in 2011, when you were working also the first time in Spain, and me as well. How do you look back on that time?
Wow, that's a good question. I like that. It seemed like we were having a lot of fun. It's funny when you look back on times, or at least like that's how I see it. Like when I look back on past times, it always seems more nice now than in that time itself, because in the time obviously we had a lot of good times, a lot of struggles as well, but afterwards when I look back, it looks like we had a lot of fun. I felt very adventurous in some way, you know. Sometimes I can miss that right now in life, but yeah, I definitely feel like it was one big adventure and we were having a lot of fun. Don't feel necessarily we were, or at least let's talk for myself, that I was really busy with growth in my life and in the sense as that I do that now, sort of like learning on a daily basis or being busy with business or my spiritual path as well. Feel that was not really there, but I was definitely experiencing. I think that is the right word. I was searching for the right word, but I was experiencing, building up experience to becoming a man.
Yeah, exactly. And on a whole different level than you do that right now. And yeah, we don't have necessarily to say on a lower or higher level. It's more like on a different level.
Definitely.
Like, you look now also towards this different direction, right? And it's actually fun that fun was then way more important as something that you were seeking on a daily basis than it might be right now. Or how do you see that?
Yeah, it's a very good one, man, because this is definitely something over since like the quarantine started and stuff.
Yeah, how long already now? Because you're living in the Canary Islands, Gran Canaria, Las Palmas, the capital.
I think we went in, let's see, the 28th. I think we went in about the 7th or the 8th of March. So it's now the 15th of April, so a little over a month,
Yeah. And the quarantine is not what it is in the Netherlands, right? It's there.
No, we're
quite full.
locked in cages now. We can still go out a little bit, like we can go to supermarket and stuff like that, but not more than that. So we're pretty.
That's actually the only thing that you can do outside, right? Supermarket, and you have to go back home.
Pharmacy, you could go as well.
Pharmacy. So everybody needs to go to the pharmacy now.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I'm like sometimes I go for a quick walk outside, you know, and I'm like walking like towards the pharmacy and then like from there again towards the supermarket, so that if I would meet police, then at least like I'm like circling between those, you know, trying to avoid people on the way and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you deal with that right now? Like what is the focus to deal with these turbulent times?
Well, I think definitely like looking inwards and like to come back a bit on the question before about having fun, is that back then I was not thinking so much, or at least when I look back now, like in Joret and stuff, I wasn't really thinking. I was just going, you know, we're just experiencing on a daily basis. And probably I had some worries, or I had some worries in that time as well in my mind. But when I look back, it does feel like it was more just experiencing, other than being busy what's tomorrow, right? Like I would,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, like I was just busy with the night and the parties and stuff that were coming again, and we're going out a lot and having fun. And I feel now I'm trying to balance that constantly, right? Because I have a sort of vision of where I want my life to go towards. I have a vision for the business that is happening. I have some goals that I have for the business, and those things are really great. Like I think they're good that we have them there. And this morning, actually, we wrote down our vision again to reflect back on where we actually want to go to, because I feel that sometimes when you're so focused on goals and vision and stuff like that, it takes the fun away. You forget to have fun in the moment. So I really see a big difference between now and then with having fun. And I think now it's time like to find the fun back in everything. And when you came to the island here and we started running towards restaurants and stuff, it was obviously we had a goal. Like we want to get restaurants in, but we're just walking, just seeing what's happening, you know?
Living.
Yeah, like unfold out of its own, instead of trying to force like, we have to make so many calls, we have to make so many. No, we just let's just keep walking all day and we'll see what happens along the road, sort of, you know. And I don't know, that fun element, sometimes I can miss that a little bit, so I'm trying to get that back into the life, you know, like instead of so focused on we need to get more clients in, I'm like, let's have fun while we're doing this, right? Like let's have fun while we're going to reach out, let's have fun while we speak with the restaurant owner and see what happens out of that, rather than trying to force it all, you know? So
yeah, exactly.
it's, and looking inwards a lot, like trying to meditate a lot, or meditating on a daily basis, and I'm trying to get my morning routine better. And now I'm living together with Gianmarco. He's very disciplined with his morning routine. It's like he doesn't skip a day. It's like 7 days a week morning routine every day, and he does he starts with like reflecting, then he starts to jump. He's like jumping like crazy, like jumping. I never thought it was that fun, where you can just jump and wake up out of that. It's really awesome. I don't know if you've done that, but it's like just literally just like like jumping like this, and at some point you're like totally going wild.
Exactly.
So much up. So
getting physical and not like that necessarily in a sort of form.
Yeah.
Release.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the ways to cope a little bit with this, trying to have fun on a daily basis. And yeah, I think that's definitely one of the ways to deal with this time, I guess.
Yeah. So interesting, right? Yeah. So actually, that goes also on to the next question. Like, you as an entrepreneur already, like in 2017, you signed yourself in at the Spanish, let's say, government, and you made it concrete, you made it real, right? That you were becoming an entrepreneur. And what are like tips for people that are doubting to go all in, or doubting about their entrepreneurial journey right now? What would you say, like, that you could make a short list of Kevin's tips?
Kevin's tips. Let me give you some tips. I think that some tips to get started, right? Like that's
to get started for people also that are doubting, like, what should I do? Should I go full all in, or no?
Yeah, I think there's not like one answer, I think, to every situation. I think it's a little bit different from situation to situation where you're in, right? But I would rather look at like what do you want, like, in life, right? I'm reading a book right now called The Surrender Experiment. It's written by Michael A. Singer. I don't know if you know him, but he's his whole path in life is about like surrendering to everything that is coming on your road and just going with it, like let go with the flow of life on a consistent basis. And I'm a really big firm believer of that, and I've always was, but the book just confirms it all and makes it more clear, right? And I think that is like a very important thing. I think that we all don't realize that, like, our mind and our thoughts and everything that is coming up, right? Like, it doesn't matter in which situation you are, but if you know what you want. So for example, let's say you really want to, you want to make a better income, you want to start your own business, you want to, I don't know, whatever you want to do, you want to write a book, but you're not doing it because your mind is telling you that you're not good enough, you're scared that it will go wrong, you're you have doubts about these things, then I think like what is very important is to realize that it's your mind telling you those things, right? And when you can surrender towards your mind and let go of all those fears and stuff, then really beautiful things happen. And I think that if you can let life unfold like that, I think that's really awesome. I remember when I got started, I was really scared. Like I was really, really scared to subscribe. Like you were there in that time as well. So we're really like, shall we do it, not do it, you know? But the thing, what I kept in mind personally was the whole time, yeah, but we want to become like a huge business. So it's better to just subscribe right now because anyway, we want to get there. Like if I would if I would describe that, is what I learned at a very early stage, and obviously sometimes I forget it, but it's something that I hold on to, is I learned to trust on the process. I learned to trust on life and how it unfolds. I've lived on the street for a couple of days. We were in Joret in the craziest situations. I've been in the weirdest situations ever in Holland when I was 16 or 17 with loads of like crazy stuff around me. I've been through so many situations that I thought like I will not come out of this alive, sort of, or it now will really go wrong. And again, I came out of it, and I don't know, that anchored in me like, whatever happens, in the end, it will be okay. Like in the end, even if we will go through all the pain and suffering, and that's the same in Vipassana, when you're 10 days inside of your meditation hall there, dying from pain, you know it will end at some point, and it will change at some point. So I think like, yeah, if you want it, go for it, you know, like go for it, let go of the fears, like try to let go, be in the moment and take it step by step, depending on your situation. But really look at what you want, you know, if you want it, like everything is possible. And yeah, I'm a pretty optimistic person. I believe that everything is possible constantly. And I like that mindset as well. So tips, yeah, I would say try to open up, you know, and try to open up and see the possibilities that are out there, because in the end, we're all born as a baby all the same. So in the end, there is no difference between somebody that is Bill Gates, right? Let's talk about Bill Gates now. There's no between us, right? Like he learned something different, we learned something different. So
it's all learned information that makes us different.
Yeah, that's it. I think. Yeah, man. Yeah. So I think that surrendering towards it and try not to let your emotions control you too much, you know. And it's a tough thing. It's a very tough thing sometimes, because in business I see it all of the time. Like something comes towards me and I'm like, my mind is literally telling, no, that's not good. That's not good. Like do it away. We're not going to work with that. But if I really calm down and look at it, it could be actually a working idea. It's just my mind that tries to protect me. So trying to let go and surrender sometimes, I think, yeah, it's a good thing. Hope I gave a bit of a clear answer.
yeah, definitely interesting. And also what you shared about Vipassana, right? Let's make the next step towards that, because we can give a lot of insights and people can like process them intellectually. At the same time, a lot of things are not learned like that, are only learned by experience, as you said. So how would you recommend or describe your Vipassana journey, maybe to start with?
Yeah, wow. Vipassana. So I would say, like, when you're ready for Vipassana, for people that don't know it, Vipassana is like, it's a 10-day meditation course where you go in and you get taught by Goenka. Goenka is a teacher that is an enlightened being that have learned this technique and teaches it on over. He's not alive anymore, but he's teaching it on a sort of audio tape. So when you go to Vipassana the first time, you go 10 days inside, complete silence, no talking, no contact with whoever you're inside with. So you're living among people, but everyone is ignoring each other sort of and doing their own thing. You meditate about 10 to 12 hours a day. You eat in the morning and lunch, and that's it. So it's quite a strong meditation course where where you learn how to observe, I would say, because that's the biggest thing what you're focusing on. Observing your body, observing your breath, observing your thoughts, observing as a standpoint where you look at it without giving a judgment. You're looking at it without telling what it means, right? Because normally when it's itching, you say, hey, oh, this is itch, I need to scratch. When you learn to let go of that, itch is just itch. If you really let go of itch doesn't bother. It's just if you tell yourself that it bothers you right now. So
yeah, interesting, right? Like I was sitting in the forest recently and meditating, but it was like at sunset. and there came like all these mosquitoes, you know. So that was like it's the first time that I couldn't I couldn't control that, you know. So I had to like do this, and I was like, I know I have to sit like this.
It's so
But
tough.
in Vipassana, you learn to work with that as well.
Yeah, and you learn it on the hard way, because it's like I definitely recommend when you're ready to go. Like, definitely when somebody is ready to do that and wants to commit to it, go. You know, I don't think it's good when you feel. I don't know. For me, it really clicked. At some point, I just felt ready and I went. You know, it was a long time on my mind. But it is a heavy experience. It's tough. Like, it's a tough journey. Like, you're going in there for 10 days. You're just with yourself, with your mind. And yeah, I don't know. Like, once I've never thought my mind was this crazy as it is. I was a little bit crazy, but not that crazy, right? So, um, yeah, Vipassana overall really good experience. Like, it's like the hardest but the best experience. And I've always had that sort of like with heavy experiences. When you look back on them, there's such a beauty to it, to the experience. Like my father passing away, or yeah, my real father first, and then my other father, I don't know how to call it, my grandma. Like when they passed away, I've always found it so hard but so beautiful at the same time, because of the lessons that I got out of it. Right? There's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
many
yeah.
beautiful lessons in heavy experiences, and I would say Vipassana is like the heaviest, 10 days in a row. But that's why it's also the most beautiful experience I've ever been to. Yeah, that a bit Vipassana in a nutshell, I would say.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
You're
And the
gonna know
heavy
soon, right?
experience. Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, Kevin, there is. It is like the stage I'm going currently through is like, yeah, I will go one day, you know. So I'm in that, and I already signed up for the one in India that would actually be happening. I think it was like in February or March,
Yeah.
this year. But then the reason that, of course, it didn't go on was that I decided not to do it. And now, like, I was like, but I will plan it this year. So I have it on my list for this year. At the same time, I cannot promise you now that I will do it this year.
Yeah.
And that is also because of the situation. But at the end, that's all an excuse. Because if you really feel the calling, then you go. That's also what I believe. So that there will be a moment, and I will text you as one of the first people. Hey, Kevin, I signed up, man. Yeah. So the heavy experience give you this lesson, right? Like that's something that probably people heard before. And you mentioned your father and the passing away of him, and we were speaking out just before we started recording. So and yeah, that I think that goes also very big on the aspect of fear. A lot of people are experiencing now fear. A lot of media are portraying and messaging a lot of things, but at the deeper layer, you see a lot of fear, right? And we were talking about it before. So what's your insight about fear and how to deal with it?
Yeah, fair. Wow, it's a very interesting, a very interesting emotion, I guess, because it looks so real. It looks so real. Like, that's the thing. It looks so real that you believe that it's the reality, right? And obviously, everybody has his own reality. I don't think there's one truth. Like, that's one thing that I've definitely discovered in Vipassana, and with my father passing away, there's multiple truths. On the moment you think it's real, it's real. Like, I mean, like, it's for you, it's really real in that moment, and it changes on the moment you changes your mind. So a bit, I like a bit of storytelling, so I'll include it a bit into to bring my point good across. Is that when my father was about to pass away a little over a year ago already, longer already, huh? It's April.
I think
now.
a little less, no? You a year ago you went to Bali or something in April or May?
Must be around now somewhere, man.
Around a year ago. Whatever,
Be.
man. Around a year ago.
Anyway, about a year ago, we got the news that he was going to pass away from the doctor. So I flew to Holland to spend the last days with him. But yeah, it's a beautiful story, because when we were in the hospital, so to give a quick backstory, my it's not my original father, it's the father of my brothers, but I've been growing up, so I've seen him always as my dad. He's Indonesian. He's coming from Java in Indonesia, right? All his family is still living there. When he was 9 years old, his dad kidnapped him, brought him into Holland, and left him there completely alone. He had to survive from then on, and he built out his life. With that said, his whole family stayed in Java, so they're still there. They're right now there. His mom is still alive, is still there. His sisters, everyone is still there. Only he was in Holland. So
I would love
always
to go back
live.
though one day.
Yeah, we must. Like,
Yeah.
I have a lot of plans for Java for the coming years.
But that's another subject. Sorry for
Definitely good motivation again, a good why for me. But yeah, like one of the things, obviously in Holland, when my father was living in Holland, he felt whole his life like, I'm here to make money and support them there, but my heart belongs there. I should be there actually living my life, you know. So he has lived always this double life where he was happy in Holland, but at the same time he actually just wanted to be with his family, because that's what he truly felt always. But he never took action because of all the fears and everything that is included in life, right? And all the beliefs, the boundaries and everything. So when he was about to pass away, he was in the hospital, and he told sneaky to me and my brother the whole time, like, shall we not go to Java? You know, shall we go to Java next week? And we just actually heard the news from the doctor that he had about a week to live because his lungs were filling up with water and stuff like that. So it was a Friday, and they said on Monday you can go home, and then probably you will have like Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday you will make, but that's it, you know. Go home, enjoy your life, and that's it. So on that Friday, he literally told us, like, yeah, guys, how shall we go to Java? You know, like, but as a joke. He kept on bringing it up as a joke, you know, to see how we would respond. And one way or another, me and my brother both picked that up. And especially my brother, he really felt like, fuck, this is real. Like, I see that he wants it, but he's so scared to put this out there. He has a wife here, he has family here, all his friends. He had like 500 friends that that were here that all would not accept it, and everyone was against it, right? It was a huge fear for him. Up until Monday came and we could go home, we're sitting in the living room, and he realized, fuck, I'm about to die. I have 1 or 2 days left. This is it. Like, this is literally it. This is my last days on this earth. Do I want to end it like this? No, I don't want to end it like this. Whatever happens, I'm going to go to Java. So he decided. He just decided. Everything just passed. Like everything just passed away. Always beliefs of like, I cannot go and stuff, right? But obviously everyone that heard of it, the only things that came up in everyone's mind was, yeah, but what if you die in the plane? What if you don't make it to Bali? What if? Everybody, what ifs came up, including mine. I was also, what if I go into the plane with him and he dies in the plane? Like, what's going to happen with us, right? Like, we started to research, and we saw even that if we will take him, knowing that he's going to die within a couple of days, it will be on us. If we will land in Singapore with him dead, we could be accused of murder. Like, we could be accused of like crazy stuff, right? So doctors, hospitals, everyone was against it. Everyone had this huge fear of he is not going to make it. But in one way or another, me and my brother broke through it. Like, we broke through the fears of everybody. And I remember the day before we were going to decide, and that was then on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think it was Tuesday, I said to my brother, like, bro, I cannot go because, what if you don't make it, right? And Rebecca was telling me, like, better don't go, because she was very scared. Everyone was very, very scared for what was going to happen while it was not happening yet, right?
No, exactly. So they were all advising based on that fear, you'd say, right?
They were all advising based on their fear, okay?
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that it was a fear for what could possibly happen.
Yeah.
And this is very important, because I think that there's a very big lesson in fear, is that mainly our fears are not for things that are happening right now, but what for possibly could happen, for the imagination that we have based out of past experiences, based out of the things that we learn from other people, based out of the fears of others, right? And I think that
it's like what most people have when they see police, right? They're gonna stop.
I'm getting. I was literally walking with Rebecca on the street yesterday. I was watching around me. She said, well, "Why are you watching around me?" I said, "Maybe the police is coming, right?" She's like, "Why are you so scared? Why am I not scared?" I said, "Babe, when I was 16, I wanted to be a gangster. I was always running for the police, and it's still inside of me." Okay.
So this is the part that you still have to work with yourself. Interesting, right? But a lot of people have that. Like, maybe not you who's listening to this, but like so many people have that. And I think we all know that person that is really like looking around him, and when police comes, especially like
and
this is the fear, right?
that it's based usually out of past experiences, because and I find this so interesting, and I've studied this a lot over the last months, is that like our brain is literally a computer. Like we're literally in computer. It's literally like with electric shocks and everything, right? Like our brain is functioning really like that. And everything that we go through in our life, we're saving, just like a computer saves data.
Yeah,
just
like memory.
Like memory. And it's so interesting because it's interesting and confusing for me, because if you think about it, that, okay, something happens in the past, let's say, I don't know, like the piano falls. Let's give a very good example, easy example. The piano falls away from it right now, out of the blue, it just falls off it. Okay, and I put it back up. Somewhere in my mind, I'm going to tell myself, what if it happens again? What if it happens again? What if it happens again? If it's happening again, the next time I put it up again, like this really becomes an issue. Like it really becomes a fear that will stuck with me. And before I know it, every time that I'm next time in somebody else's house and I see a piano, in my mind goes like, maybe the piano falls off, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it broke. So that's so interesting because maybe the piano doesn't fall, but the fear is still there. And I find that very powerful because.
So a thought of a possible outcome that you don't want to happen, and it's not even there yet. So that's also what happened with a lot of people that had with your father, right? They thought like, oh no, but what if this happened? Or what if that happened?
Exactly.
But then you decided to go, or what did you decide?
Yeah, then like on the Tuesday where I started to turn suddenly towards the fair, and I was like, like my brother, I can't go. Like I'm too afraid. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. The business just started to boom. Maybe I should be there, and I'm again gonna do this. And I had so many excuses that came up, and everyone was along it. And the Jeff literally said, like, guys, I can't be here anymore. He left. He went home, and he went home to meditate. And he meditated literally for hours. He was sitting for hours there. He has not slept the whole night. He went on meditating like the whole day and night. And then the day after he came back and he was like, I've decided, I'm going. Whatever you do, I'm going. And what was beautiful, his security, his sureness just pulled me straight away back over the other line of, I don't have to be afraid anymore, right? So what ended up happening, Wednesday, we took the flight to Indonesia. It was a whole drama because we couldn't go with the doctors. In the end, we convinced the doctors into it. We went, he lived another month in Java. He had a very beautiful time there. He died literally in his mom's arms. Super beautiful. He had this amazing month with his family still in the end. And everything was good. But
you even left him there?
We left him there, yeah. Because we could just stay for 1 month with the visa. So we had to leave. We had to leave at some point. And we said, the crazy thing was doctors say you have 1 week, but he kept on living. He started to lose weight. He started to lose water. He only was nearly like the food that he was eating was vegan. It was like plant-based, like 99% of it. There was no more added sugars, no more cola, no more Fanta. He was at the family. His sister was cooking every day. There was so much love in the food. And you could literally see him changing and progressing and getting better. We're like, yeah, man, maybe he's going to make it, you know? Maybe we all know a bit like, the doctors sometimes like have their own fears, you know?
yeah, exactly. And they advise you, or they say like, you have so many weeks to live, and then we believe, and that becomes our reality.
And that becomes a reality, and there's where the fear, and like the moral of the whole story is that, what if we didn't go? He would have died at home, right? And what would we have believed then? Why? Like he made it now, right? Everybody was not go. Out of fear. So is fear a real thing?
Yeah, exactly. You went to Bali with him. You went then to Java. Like you did a lot of things with him, right? It was not that you just went straight to his family.
Man, he became that. We went to Bali. There, the flight was pretty heavy because they literally said that he was getting more. Everything he drank didn't come out anymore. So he was literally not peeing. He like once or twice, but very little. So everything stayed stuck. So they literally said, guys, the plane is impossible because in the moment you go up in the air and the air pressure comes, the liquid will go to his lungs and he will instantly die. So like literally while we were going up, we were looking at him and he was passing out. We were like, fuck, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We were like, this is the scariest plane ride out of my life. It's full of fear. But all in my mind in the end, you know, because it was all for nothing, right? Like he was literally still alive there. It was just the possibility of what was going to happen. So I think that is also the moral of the story, that fear mostly is in our minds. It's the story that we're telling ourselves of what could possibly happen because of past experiences, right? Or what could not happen. That could also be because we're afraid it won't happen. That's why we rather don't do it, right? I'm afraid, like, I spent that much time in it and it doesn't even help. So yeah, man, I think that is what fear through my eyes is. And it's difficult because it goes quick. Before you know it, you're in it. Before you know it, you're in that belief. And I think, like, how more aware we can be of that and catch that feeling, catch that thought process, because it's literally going in your mind. Hey, don't go, man. Maybe you're gonna die in the plane. Don't go, man. Don't go. Like, that's my mind telling me. Like, my mind telling.
Yeah. There's a voice, and you can. Yeah, there are different ways to deal with that voice. So you went, man. Big respect for that, and also for Jeff, your brother, of course. And then so you went to Bali, and then you raised also money then after for kids or something. Well, that was also still with him.
Yeah, a lot happened in that time, but like, my dad, he's a real entrepreneur, actually. You know, he's a real if he could control his fears and stubbornness a bit better, he could be a very successful businessman. But he was in his ways, you know. And I think that, like, when we were going, he started to create a lot of plans because he felt like, I have a few more days, so let's do stuff. Literally within a week, he opened up a business in Java, like an ice cream store where they were making like fresh ice with, like, literally ice, you know, and then with like syrup and stuff, with fruits and stuff in there. He went to the school to paint it. He went to, like, construct a bit of the school. So me and my brother, we did a sale for the course that I'm doing. For restaurants, and we done a special discount, and all the money we donated to the family and stuff, and to support the trip as well, because money wise we needed some money to support everything. So a lot of stuff happened, actually. We literally opened up like a part of the school, and crazy how we everything within a week.
Yeah, exactly. So all these things, man, and that's like, what a great way to end your life. Man, that's also what you really can, like.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I've never seen somebody, like, saying goodbye like he did. You know, like, he had so many friends that when, like, I think on Wednesday or Thursday maybe we flew. It was a bit of a weird time, so it's a bit messed up.
I remember, man. I think it was Wednesday because I was there on the airport in Amsterdam.
Yeah. You came to say goodbye, actually, on the airport. It was really really appreciative as well. He really liked it as well, actually. He was really like, oh, Guido really came to say goodbye now. But he literally had about 150 people on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Every day, different people just coming to say goodbye. They were just coming there, giving him a hug, drink a beer with him, talk, have some food, and then they left. And that went on, like, the whole day from morning to evening. So he has literally said goodbye to everyone, including his family in the end. You know? So I don't know. There's definitely no better way to die than that.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Because what I appreciate it so much that he remembered also certain things. I'm not exactly sure what, but when I came there, it was not like that he just said hi to me, like, oh, who's this again, friend of Kevin, but really like, hey, are you not in the Canary Island, and, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, he really had, like, this feeling still in his heart about, you also went to Indonesia, and the family, I will say hi for you and stuff. And I find also super interesting, like, reflecting back on that in that moment I get always very emotional, and that because I think I'm already sure that it could be, or it probably is most likely that I will not see him anymore after that, right?
Yeah.
And that was so a unique situation for me that everybody knew that, and there were a lot of people there already on the airport as well, right? Like, all kinds of friends, and that was already after all those people said goodbye to him.
Yeah.
So how crazy is that like there left a certain version of him already, the Netherlands, right? And that was called John.
Yeah.
That was his Dutch version of himself.
Yeah.
But then in Indonesia, his other Mustaman version, or how you can say it better, woke up or rose up again, and that lived on for a bit, right? How did that, like, to finish the story off? I think that this is also something that interests me a lot, right? Another part of his personality or something.
That's beautiful, man, because when he got kidnapped, like his own dad kidnapped him literally to bring him to Holland so he could work and support the family, right? I mean, like, yeah, it's a pretty strong experience, I think, for a child from 9 to just change of environment. His name is Mustaman. That's his real name. Like in Indonesia, there they only have one name, and that's it, Mustaman. And at least in that village, I don't know in other parts of Indonesia, but in that village they have that like that. And when he got taken away and he was dropped in Holland, his name became John because he needed a first name and a last name. He had to pick. So he said, okay, it's John. So now he became John Mustaman. But on the moment that what's very interesting is that obviously during his lifetime, he went back like 30 times or 40 times. I went there like twice with him, chilling with the family, but he always came there as John Mustaman to help support the family. But now he came there to live there again. You know, there was no return ticket. There was no, hey, I'm leaving here again, I'm going back to Holland soon. No, it was like, hey, now I'm here, I'm gonna stay here. And that's why as well the 9-year-old kid Mustaman was for the first time really home again. You know what I mean? Like, it was not like normally was I went there on holiday, he helps the family. Yeah, okay, the guy from Holland came and now he's going back to Holland to live his life again. But now it was, no, I'm here. Like, this is it. I'm part of the family again. So it was really like Mustaman woke up finally. Like, he finally, like, the feeling that he always had his whole life in Holland of, hey, I really want to actually be with my family, but I don't do it because I need to support them with money. I now have a new family here. I have kids here, so I better stay in Holland. That was all removed. And he could finally let go of that John personality that was created in Holland, actually. And he could finally be Mustaman again, the guy that is in Java, that's just chilling on his terrace there, that's playing with the kids around there. And it was not so much on his phone anymore. He was just being there a lot, you know? And I think that was like, yeah, crazy to see, like how the actual personality came out, where you really felt that he was closer to his spirit, you know? I'm pretty curious.
Yeah, like that he releases that part of what he also was, but what he built up in the Netherlands, and he left this commercial, let's say also, and Jeff can say it also very well, like obsessed with social contacts on Facebook. He had like 4 Facebook profiles or something. Like this version of himself, he left behind, and he came deeper to his core, like you said. Exactly. And that was how he spent the last weeks.
And I think that we all have that, right? Because that's like when I was young, when I was like, let's say till about, no, I would say about till 16, 17, when my grandma passed away and my real dad passed away, there a switch happened when I left to Spain. Like for me, like before Spain, such a different personality. I was very angry. I hated the world. I hated myself. I was so upset. I just wanted to, you know, if I would still be that time, I would probably be burning 5G towers right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be hunting gates.
That would be the Kevin of like 12 years ago or something.
Yeah. And when I was in Vipassana, I had a chance to speak with that Kevin. Kleine Kev. I'm calling him. We're speaking in English, by the way. There's a whole interview. We even realized it, but
no.
It was Kleine Kev, like small Kev. I literally talked to myself. I was literally standing face to face in Vipassana with my small self and tell him like, hey, it's fine, man. Like all the anger and everything, it's okay. Like I forgive you for all of it. And I really had a chance to let go. So I feel that. And I feel that we all have that. We all have these different versions of ourselves, from who we were in the past, who we were now. We're different people. Like we're literally someone new every day, right? I can wake up to I'm a new person, literally.
And then to add that story into what you were saying before, you let go of some fear, right? Because that Kleine Kev was angry, but there was a deeper emotion. Exactly. Because he was angry because of something, right? And yeah, that's also what hit me so much when you tell that story. Every time you tell it, and also when I saw this video that Jeff made, is that all the experiences that everybody had about what could happen fade away, and that you made a decision based on the love to fulfill his last dream in life.
Exactly. That's it. It was not about us anymore. You know, it was about him. It was not about us and our fears and our objections and our everything that we had to deal with. It was not about that anymore. It's funny because yeah, I don't know, like how far I believe in like different lives, like past lives, next lives, right? Like the Buddhist belief.
Mm.
I'm not out. I'm not out. Like it's real or not real. Like I don't have
Ah,
really.
it's experience. You
It
didn't
could be, right?
experience it.
Yeah, it could be.
Exactly. Let's not say a yes or no to it.
But I did see something that was really weird. That, and I know it's like unexplainable, but I really, when me and Jeff, when we decided, it was like everything just fell away. It became so logical, like it was always meant to be that we were going to
Yeah,
go there.
yeah, yeah.
I literally saw a version of Jeff, of my brother, as a man with like old white long hair and a stick. And I told Jeff, fuck, man, it's so logical now. Like you and me, we are chosen to do this. It's not about us anymore. Like whatever happens, if he dies in the plane, it is meant to be. We have to go. Like it was also logical that me and Jeff together went with the two. Like there shouldn't be anyone else. It was us chosen for
No,
this.
no, no, exactly, exactly. No, no extra people. Not even his wife.
No, it was we were chosen for the job, and it's insane because the current me and like my ego, my fears, and everything that was there was telling me not to go. But the spirit in me knew I had to go, and I think that is what we all experience, right? Like our spirits often tell us, "Hey, go and start to write your book. Hey, go and start to work out more. Hey, go and do these things." But then our ego takes over and tells us all of these things, like, "Yeah, we can also watch a movie now, you know, instead of working out, or you can also do now this instead of writing the book, or maybe it's not for you writing this book. If you would write a book, then you would have done that already, you know." And all of these stupid things that we're telling ourselves was fear. So I think how more we can follow the spirit instead of the ego, how more we can let go of the fears, and how more we can live the truth and fulfill
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And like, yeah, for people that don't know you and hear this, that comes from a person that experienced quite a rough time, right? Like, and especially what you shared a little bit of it. Like, you came to Gran Canaria with a little pennies in your pocket, and you lived basically on the street for the first days. And then also, like, it's easy to listen to the fear, right? But someone and something inside you guides you through, right? How does that then work? And also to add that to the story and to really make yourself like stronger out of that yeah, awful experience for some, would some say, but now beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh man, that's crazy. I remember very well, like when we went to Gran Canaria, we came with little no money, and it was finished. The money that we had was finished within a couple of days. So me and me and Walter, the person that I came with to the island here, we were literally laying in an area on our suitcases with our hats on the suitcase with like €4 in our pocket and an apple and a banana, and we literally. I was very scared there. Walter had been through it a lot of times, right? And it's very interesting because he's been through it a lot of times, so he is less afraid for it, right? He's not.
Yeah, he's already knowing what to do almost.
He's conditioned in the right way. I am
Yeah.
conditioned in the way, but what if this all goes wrong? And he's like, no, but I've been through this. This doesn't go wrong, right? It's very interesting.
No.
Both true, both true. For me, that was true. For him, that was true. The real reality was obviously like I'm sitting now here in the house, I have my own business and stuff changed, right? That's the real
Yeah, exactly.
physical world. But back then, my fear was huge. And I remember telling him, like, dude, this is it. I'm calling my mom. I'm going to let her book a ticket. I'm gone. Like, I'm going home. See you. And he was like, why?
Yeah, exactly. So that was actually the only option you saw then.
That was it. Based
Right?
out
Like,
fear was like, no more money. No, I have to go home. Like, it seemed like the most logical option, right? Like,
yeah, but also not that your mother was like very tempted to book a ticket for you. Like, okay, because it was not like that. It would be very easy for you to make that call, but that was the only thing that you saw.
The only thing that I saw, definitely. There was no way out. And Walt was like, yeah, but I've been through this so long. Let's at least, this is actually what he said, let's at least stay today. If you then feel later like it, let's then do it. But let's focus now just on, let's survive today, right? Like, let's just see if we can survive today. And we've done that. Like, we survived that day. And then the day after, and then the day after. And before we knew it, we had a house. And then stuff started to change, you know? But it's interesting. It's very interesting how this... moment of decision, you know, that we have to move now. And they were looking inside like, oh, I'm scared, better don't do it. Or I'm very scared, then maybe you do it then. Yes, because out of fairness could also be, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you shared that with people there, right? Like people that came there, you shared like how little you had, and how open you were to them. Probably created sort of a respect, and that's how you developed yourself on the island, right? Like you literally started from the bottom there.
Literally, yeah. And the interesting was that those the girls that you spoke about, like they were one of the first that me and Walter met. I think it was on the second or the third day. We met them, and we were sitting in the night somewhere talking with another guy, and those girls passed by. We started to talk with them. We told them our story, and they were like, you can sleep in our apartment, you know? So perfect. So we went to sleep there. We could cook for them. And the whole week we spent time with them. We were just sharing what we were doing, and they were very inspired by it. They were, I think, 19 or 20 years old, and they were still, they were just finished high school, or they were still in the last year. I don't remember exactly, but they were just on the last time of school, I think. And they were always bullied on school. They were very judged by everyone, right? On school, everyone was just telling them like, you're outsiders and stuff like that. And they really didn't feel welcome, but their parents were really pushing them. Like, you have to do school, you have to finish it. Interesting, because a couple of years later, I went to look them up online on Facebook, and two of the three girls went to make a world travel, and they quit school. Yeah, they quit school. They were inspired, and they literally just left everything that they believed in till that moment, right? They just left it behind and went living, you know. And I think that we all should do that more. I think we all, should just live life more on our own terms, right? There's so many possibilities, and I think that the society sometimes puts us into a box and limit us thinking, right? And I think that it's crazy. It's sad. It's sad because that's where we get all the issues from in the end, right? Even like, I think that's what Goal Trainers does as well, like helping people to get to their goals with body weight training and mindset and everything. And I think that this is exactly what that is. You're helping them to push through those beliefs that are there conditioned at some point that they have gotten with. Like, that's it. Yeah.
Right? Like so crazy that you can be the light, the example for people, like literally girls from you never knew them before, you met them there on the island, and you inspired them despite of your situation back then, maybe even like because of it.
Exactly.
And that's super fascinating to me. Like, and I think like a lot of people that would hear this, that would say like, yeah, that is something crazy. Because now, like, let's just flash forward to your current position, restaurant marketing, social happiness. How do you describe it when people ask you, what do you do now here with your online little business?
The little business. Wow. Now, meanwhile, we thanks to Guido as well. Definitely, he was a big player in the beginning with us, with me personally, when we started. But meanwhile, we've built a business up. We've now, obviously, now during the Corona, it's a little bit a weird time. It's a little bit tough what is happening, but we're finding ways to get through it. Definitely. We're pivoting a lot, but I'm running still an agency where we're helping restaurants with. I just teamed up with another person that also was running an agency, but focused on Instagram and brand building. So we're complementing each other pretty good. So we're building that, and at the same time, I'm building up the Facebook group. It's not been my biggest focus over the last months. The agency really was. Started to take off pretty good. We're on a really good roll. Like, clients really kept flying in. Every month we were closing a couple. Revenue started to increase, but Corona obviously just kicked it a little bit.
But mostly on hold, right? It's not that people really said goodbye forever.
No, it's on pause. Like, not all our clients are on pause, but most of them, like two are still paying. I just got a new opportunity. Just called in this morning, actually, from our friend Ildefonso, because he's starting a new lawyer business with 4 people, and they want to do everything, ads and everything. Anyway, you knew him, but
he's an old Canarian businessman. Let's say like that.
He's in my heart, Hilde. He's really he became a really good friend, actually. Hilde. He's really also outside of what we're talking a lot, but man, that's it. Like, we're living here in Spain in the Canary Islands, still having an own apartment, 2 cats, pretty, yeah, I mean, like my life is a little bit strange at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Before we go into that, let's talk a second about Ilde and how we met him. Because I remember that we had an appointment at Rimini, right? One of the oldest restaurants in the Canary Islands that is still open, probably. Rimini restaurant, and we were sitting at Las Piramidas, Playa del Ingles, and we had an appointment with those owners of Rimini, and we were sitting there, and then the manager of this Piramidas came by, and we started speaking with him, and then we literally showed him directly, like I said, hey, look up the statistics for this, and then you looked it up, and then and then he was saying like, nah, this is not for this one and stuff. And then you look, but look, you guys on Google, you guys are not a Google, you're missing out. And he was like, Google, what? And you explained him in Spanish. And then this guy was, this is really interesting. Like, how can we as Las Piramides, as this restaurant, benefit from this? And he said, yeah, we need to speak with the owner. Yeah, but for this, you can have an appointment with the owner. Right? You remember? Back in, I think it was in 2017, man, the end of 2017.
That's crazy, yeah.
And that's how we got into the meeting with the owner first time. And then we saw him and we thought directly, oh, this is a guy, he seemed like he's in more business than just a restaurant. And then he was a lawyer, and then he was doing this, opening this dentist, and he was doing all kinds of stuff. Man, and now you're still doing things with him. That warms me as well, right? Like you're also a relationship builder guy.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's like the biggest thing. We were speaking about it a lot the last days. Like, what kind of business do we want to build, right? Like when we're now going to go to 50, 100 to 200 clients, like how do we want to run it then? Like, how do we want to operate it? And I think that the biggest thing, comes back to having fun. When do we have most fun? Because there's so many rules that people put up for us. Like, no, but you need to have it streamlined, and how less contact you have with your clients, how better, and stuff like that. But that's not how I want to build a business. Like, I want to build a business of fun, and I have most fun when I have a good connection with my customers. Like, that's more important than anything. Like, even
go on holiday with them.
I would love to. Like, so not all of them, but most of them.
But exactly, and that's the thing. Then you're not directly at the end result, because that's also not fun, that you're directly only having people all of a sudden that are like your best friends forever in life, and that you're sure you're never gonna lose them. I mean, of course, it sounds like an ideal situation, but like, is it really?
Yeah, not always. No. And we're trying to attract more of those type of customers.
That's well said, huh?
Towards that, that style, understanding better who we want to work with. I think that's definitely a big key factor. But relationships is definitely something important. And like with Ildefonso, like, this is priceless, like it's not about business anymore, this is life for me. Like, it's like fun. It's like doing what I would do without money. So I would love to speak with Ilde also if I wouldn't get money from him. You know what I mean?
No. Interesting, man. Kev, about this situation, and like, especially, I think 3 years ago or 4 years ago is maybe a good, let's say 4 years ago, 2016. You were working in a surf school, you were giving surf class, you're doing some online stuff for them. Let's say that the Kevin that you are now would have a direct conversation like this with that Kevin from 4 years ago. And what would you say or ask or give for insights to that Kevin about business or life in general?
I think the first thing that popped up in my mind is be more present. Be more aware, because I feel that, and that refers back to my dad, is that my father has lived his whole life on his own terms. Like, he always went on holidays, whenever he wanted, he always done the stuff that, like, what was important for him, going for dinners on a daily basis, and he lived it a bit on his own terms, But still, on these last days, he told me, I wish I had enjoyed it more. And for a long time I was thinking, like, what does that mean, right? Like, you've done everything that you wanted, right? And he literally said, but I have the feeling that my life just passed by, and I was not really standing still by it. And it's very interesting, because when I look back towards like the surf school and stuff like that, I have the feeling I was not realizing that I was alive, sort of, you know. I feel that, especially after Vipassana, of course, that I had quite a big awakening of being present in the moment and enjoying every little moment, that it is so crucial and important, because in the end of the day, whatever external factor we're going to get, even if somebody drops 10 million in my face, yeah, probably I will be freaking happy now for the next week or 2 or 3 or 4, but it comes a point where it becomes normal and standard again. You know, we all know that. We all know when, oh, I will need to have that phone, or I need to have that car.
This
And
is
I
a great
have
example, right? This Corona is a great example. Like, it becomes almost your normal, your new normal, like you say.
everything becomes normal. And I think that if I would speak back to that Kevin, I will definitely say, hey, Kev, start meditating. I think that had been a very big help for me. And enjoy the present moment more. Like, try to be more in the present instead of, in this, how can I say it, like in this automation mode, sort of, where we're all in most hours of our day. We're in automation mode. Stuff is just going. We're in a wolf
doing,
all day
yeah.
pass by, and the whole day pass by. So yeah, obviously I can give myself a lot of financial advice, like save more money. You know, there's so much stuff that I could give to myself, but I would say that the biggest thing definitely is like, try to be more present, be more aware, because that's also the message that I want to say myself now. You know, like, be more aware. I don't feel like I'm day and night aware. Like, it's something that I'm definitely working on, and trying to be more present and aware, because that is where I'm most enjoying my life, when I'm knowing that I'm alive, where I'm standing still, that this is the gift. This is the whole gift of life. Our body, our hands, our arms, our face, they were alive right now, that I'm literally sitting in a house and that I'm just here right now. This is like the gift of life. That's the beauty. But when you don't realize it and you're so focused on, oh, I need to get more money, or I need to get this, we start to forget that we have an incoming and outgoing breath. We have a heart that's beating that actually really matters. Like, actually the rest doesn't matter, as long as we can survive, right? Like, that's it. As long as we live, actually, that should be beauty itself.
Exactly. And being so aware that you realize, like, that it's all happening for you, right? Like, people are during this time, like, it's a great thing what you shared. Like, 10 million would probably feel like something so far out of reach for most, that it's like, oh yeah, when I would have that, then my life would be different, you know, then everything would be different. And
it will be
suddenly
different. It will be different.
Yeah, for a while it would, for sure, like maybe for a year, maybe for 3 years, but after a while it becomes your new normal, right? And that's also what you're trying to say with it. Like, when you would have told you 2 months ago, Kevin, soon watch out for everything, because soon you were going into your house and you'll be locked in your house for a long time. I mean, you would probably enjoy the beach a little bit more, and, and you would enjoy the mountains a little bit more. And this is like a big message, man. Like, if we can get this message out there, and I think you're also an advocate for that, awareness.
Yeah, definitely. Awareness, yeah, that's definitely a big thing, man. And that's something that I want to give as well, because I've always felt like, and I think that every single person that will watch this, and probably will relate with it, is that we all feel like, I'm missing this bigger purpose. Like, there should be something bigger on my road, you know? I don't know if you feel that. Maybe you feel it good with the gold trainers, but I've always felt that for a long time. Like, it's nice helping restaurants, getting more customers in, but it doesn't feel like this is my life mission. You know what I mean? And that's interesting, because what is your life mission, right? And for me, I've really discovered that being more present and having fun every single moment, that is my purpose. And if that is in restaurant marketing, or that is in helping people becoming more healthy, like, it could all be, as long as I'm sharing my truth, right? So whenever I'm now working on restaurant marketing and speaking with clients, I also want to bring this forward. I want to help them to become more aware, right? It all comes back into whatever we do. And I think
that's when you realize it.
Purpose,
yeah. And so right now it is like on such a level, what you say, it doesn't really matter what you do. It matters that you do it with joy, and it matters what you do it with a feeling of, I'm alive while doing it.
That's it. That's all what we need to do.
That's it, man. Kevin, thank you, man. Thank you so much. I'm for sure we're gonna have another conversation, and maybe we'll go more into how did you veganize the restaurant world and stuff. But let's do that in the future, man. For now, let's call it a call and finish up, man. Thanks. Up. Where can people find you best? Facebook or the website? What would you say?
Facebook, I would say. If somebody wants to chat, have questions or whatsoever, I just see a message coming in from Bas. That's right. Bro, what do you say? I think he asked me for an interview and I forgot to answer him, so I'll do that straight after this.
Nice.
But yeah, my Facebook, I think that's the best way. Like Kevin from the Luitgaarden. I'm thinking like other places, but no, that's the best way.
That's amazing, man.
I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, Kev, thanks for being here. And let's see where it end up in the next conversation. What is then the situation with this turbulent times?
Yeah, for sure, man. For
cool,
sure.
Man. Keep in touch, brother.
Ciao.
Peace.